Hello and welcome to today's web seminar, Email Drip Campaigns for Insurance Agency Lead Gen. This web seminar is brought to you by the Insurance Agency Marketing and Lead Gen Professionals at StartUpSelling and features two speakers. First, my name is John Scranton. I'm an agency marketing pro who was formerly a licensed insurance agent like many of you for a top 100 agency. I'm an MBA, co-authored Sell More and Work Less, and have written over 1,000 insurance marketing blogs. We'll also be joined by subject matter expert Alan Bloom, who's an author and the founder and CEO of StartUpSelling. He's been named twice to the Inc. 500 list. He's the author of Your Virtual Success, Sell More and Work Less, and over 150 insurance marketing articles, and is widely considered to be an insurance email marketing expert. So with that, let's get started. The key topics we're going to cover today. First, for anybody who hasn't launched or begun their insurance email marketing campaign or drip marketing campaign, you need to get started now, and we'll remind you of why in case you didn't already know. Before you can send anything out, doesn't matter how great your content is, you have to have a quality email list. So we'll talk about building your list. Then we're going to cover three different types of email marketing: traditional email campaigns, newsletters, and sophisticated marketing automation, and explain to you the criteria you need to review or follow to choose the best path for your agency. So first, as promised, we want to remind you, maybe even beg you, to start if you haven't already. Get started now. Email marketing is not new. This isn't emerging technology anymore. It's a 20-odd-year-old industry, 20-year-old technology. I'll tell you a quick story. When I was an agent, like many of you, a savvy CSR in my office, and I decided that we needed to start sending out emails to our clients and prospects because our agency as a whole wasn't ready to do that on a large scale yet. So we cobbled together a newsletter in Microsoft Publisher, scraped all the emails we could from our agency management system and my files, and started PDFing it and sending it out. That was in 2006. So it's been popular in insurance for over a decade. We weren't the first ones to do it, and that was more than a decade ago. So don't get left behind, or don't get left further behind. Get started, and get started now. How you get started is by building an email list. You're going to eventually have many different lists or many different segments to your email library, the first of which should be your clients. You have a system with hundreds, thousands, maybe tens of thousands of clients, and every single client file should have a minimum of one email, maybe multiple emails associated with them. Hopefully you've been asking for emails for many years. If you haven't, or you don't feel like you have complete email records for all your clients, have a contest in the office for your service staff to see how many email addresses they can add to the system and give somebody, a free gift card. If you're doing that, you'll also build an email list of your former clients. Anybody who leaves that you may want back, you'll have their email in your system. Producers should meanwhile be getting emails for all of their active prospects, not just for sales purposes, but for future service purposes. The email address can help you close. It can also help you retain. As a corollary, you'll build a list of dormant prospects. All the business that you didn't get that you really wish you did, you'll have emails for that you can nurture over time, impress them with amazing content, and show them what they're missing. You can also have a list of partners, colleagues, family and friends, LinkedIn contacts, the kind of people who may receive a really interesting blog post from you or newsletter from you that say, wow, this is really helpful content about how to deal with the Affordable Care Act in 2017. I'm going to forward this to my friend who might be a referral, or I'm going to mention this at the chamber meeting. Could help impress people and get you additional opportunities. Now, as you assess all these different buckets, clients, prospects, etc., you'll determine what your current email universe is. Maybe you have 10,000 client emails and 10,000 prospect emails, and you're in a good position to start. Even those with that many emails may say, we have 10,000 of each, but we want to be at 50,000 of each. Or you may look and see that you have 231 client emails and 93 prospect emails and realize, wow, this isn't going to scale well for our email marketing campaign. We need a lot more contacts. So in that case, or in either of those cases, you need to consider list procurement. And this is an area just wrought with issues and challenges. It's really best left to the professionals. You need to vet email list providers. You need to vet the contact lists that they provide. You need to ping test them, scrub them. You need to follow all canned spam and opt-in procedures. It needs to be handled very carefully, very delicately, and if you try to purchase emails in small quantities, you'll have to pay skyrocketing exorbitant rates. So work with a professional insurance email marketing organization who can get you a quality, vetted list, ping tested, scrubbed for a reasonable price. Hopefully, to start your email marketing initiative, you're going to have at least 5,000, 10,000 emails, maybe more. And as you upload all these emails to your email marketing engine, make sure that you're doing so in separate lists. Complete contact records, name, phone number, title, email address, company name, so that when your reports spit back out, you don't just have an email, and that you have a client list, former client, prospect list, dormant prospects, etc. So as you send different email messages, you can choose which lists would be most appropriate. So Alan, I've been doing a lot of the talking. Would you like to chime in on how to build a great email marketing list?
Yes, let me give an important takeaway for anyone on the call who does not consider them to be an email marketing or a marketing automation expert. This is very important to know. It's one of the key takeaways for today. And we can start by saying people can raise their hands if they know what this is. So John mentioned something called ping, P-I-N-G, which is a golf putter, a great ping putter. But in this case, it refers to a ping test. Does anyone on the line know what a ping test is or why it's important? Feel free to raise your hand if you do. And meanwhile, we'll talk about it quickly. So emails, whether they're procured, whether you have them, whether they're old, whether they're new, there's constant changes to emails. Companies get purchased, domain names get changed, people leave their jobs, people retire, people change positions, and consequently their email's not applicable. Syntax changes. A big one, Verizon.net, if you sent any personal emails, they're actually going to be changing now to AOL emails because of their purchase. So lots of things happen. Meanwhile, before you send out any large-scale campaign or at the beginning of building your list, you should ping test your list. And a ping test delivers 3 categories: passes, unknowns, and fails. So let's say you have a list of 10,000 emails with associated contact information. You submit it for ping testing, and within a day or 2 or 3, you get back the results, and they'll be in those 3 categories. And the number one thing you don't want to do is you do not want to send to the fails. Ping test fails are historically very bad emails, very poor quality, and if you're sending out a lot of them, they'll bounce and they'll get you in trouble with your email marketing provider. Another way to deal with this is say, I'm not an email expert and I'm just going to outsource it to somebody who really knows about it. But if you are going to try to do it on your own, remember the ping test. John, let's move on.
Very good. Thank you, Alan. So now that you have a great list and Alan's helped you ping test it and you're ready to start sending out emails, let's talk about the different options that you have. Option 1, I called it email marketing. This is the traditional email marketing that you think of, where monthly or maybe twice a month you're sending an email to your clients or to your prospects or both. And hopefully that email consists of very educational content, information that's going to help your clients and prospects with their business, not try to sell them insurance. Our favorite collateral or content or call to action in an email is a web seminar invitation. Many of you who are on the line today received an email invitation. It was educationally oriented, inviting you to attend a web seminar and learn more about email marketing. It had a call to action, which was the registration page for this web seminar. So you were part of our marketing campaign, our email marketing campaign, and responded because the content was educational in nature. Video or blogs can also be very compelling email marketing content. Ask somebody if they'd like to learn something that will help them by watching a 2-minute video or reading this few hundred-word blog. If you're targeting trucking, maybe it will help them lower their CSA scores. If you're targeting benefits, maybe it's the pending impact of possible Trump care or something like that, some type of compliance-oriented, educational, or regulatory-oriented information that people need to know, people need to comply with. The format of your email should be simple and professional. We prefer a textual format and a concise email length. Long, verbose emails tend not to be fully read. Also, a lot of content can push the call to action down and people may not get to it or may not notice it. Think about the busy professionals that you're targeting. You want them to quickly digest the information and take an action. We also prefer text versus HTML because so many images are stripped out by Outlook or other email clients or can be blocked altogether by spam filters. We find text-based emails have the highest deliverability and give you the highest probability for success. You can determine what frequency is right for you and in your target market. We typically send 1 to 2 emails to prospects or even some suspects per month. And different days of the week or times of the day are better than others, and that also again depends on who you're sending to and what you're sending. A competent email marketing organization can assist you with that. In generalities, mornings are often better than afternoons, Tuesdays often better than Mondays, but needs to be tested within your target market and proven, or you can work with somebody like us to help guide you along that path. Now, Alan, I know that you are very familiar with opt-out and CAN-SPAM compliance procedures. Would you like to talk a little bit about that and how you assist clients through that process?
Certainly. So CAN-SPAM is requisite for anyone who wants to do email marketing, and candidly, I don't know why any serious agency would not be doing consistent email marketing. It's bread and water for your lead gen program. It's a high degree of lead generation for producers. Email marketing is and this is basic email marketing, is important and can be accomplished by any agency, even a small agency. Now, everybody who wants to do email marketing should take 5 minutes and read the CAN-SPAM regulations. They're pretty simple. They're pretty straightforward. There's a half a dozen key regulations with that, including you have to identify who the email is from. You have to have an address that the person sending the email. It has to be a viable domain name, and that has to be listed. There has to be an automated opt-out. You have to honor the opt-out for 90 days and so on. Just type in CAN-SPAM Act government and you'll be taken to the CAN-SPAM page, and it's a great thing to spend a few minutes looking at. That said, CAN-SPAM is different from opt-in, which we'll touch upon. We can have a longer conversation on that, but again, at a minimum, you have to follow those CAN-SPAM regulations. Let's continue.
So as you're sending out your emails and you're getting click-throughs and people are opening them, people are going to your website afterwards and filling out your form or even responding, make sure that you have a follow-up process in place, that you have a lead handling process. This is what happens when someone clicks. These clicks go to these producers who call them. Or this is what happens when people fill out the form on our website. Those forms are routed to ABC person who then calls them or emails them or assigns them to a producer so that the fruits of your labor are taken advantage of and exploited to the best of your ability so that your email marketing efforts don't drift or go to waste. The next option we'll talk about what we called newsletters and blogging. First off, I want to toss in a quick reminder as a side note. When you're engaging in email marketing, traditional campaigns, newsletters, or marketing automation like we'll talk about in a minute, we hope and assume that you already have a current and compliant website, mobile compliant website. If you're sending out emails, you're going to be driving a lot of new eyeballs to your website, and we're presuming that your website already at a minimum looks professional, and conveys your value proposition, and hopefully is even impressive to the new visitors that will see it. Now on your new, great, mobile compliant current website, you hopefully also have an active and educational blog. And if you do, you can take those blogs, maybe your weekly blogs, and curate them into a monthly newsletter or even a series of newsletter that you send out to clients or prospects or both. They could be on different topics if you want to have multiple newsletters, or maybe you just have one. You could have a general business newsletter. You could have industry-specific newsletters like your benefits newsletter, your trucking newsletter, your manufacturing newsletter. Or you could have, let's see, a regional newsletter if you wish. We're very heavy in Iowa, and so we're going to focus on pertinent business issues to the people in and around Des Moines. Again, when sending out these newsletters and the associated blogging content, make sure that you have a follow-up process in place so that any click-throughs or opens that you wish to capitalize on are followed up on by your producer team. Alan, anything you'd like to add about newsletters and blogging?
One quick thing, when you can reuse, repurpose content, it's very effective both from a cost-effective standpoint, from a price standpoint, and it's effective from a use standpoint. So blogging and newsletter offers you a great opportunity. We often say things start with a blog. You create 5 blogs during the month. You now put them into an electronic newsletter that becomes your newsletter with nominal changes, and you can send out a newsletter to people, have them subscribe and opt into your newsletter, and it's a different type of content that appeals to certain types of people. So when you're thinking about doing your content marketing, think about it starting with a small blog, a couple hundred words, but that blog can, after 5 of them, can become a 1,000-word newsletter, and that can be very effective for you. Let's continue.
Very good. Now, if you're thinking that, hey, I'd love to get started with email marketing, or I already do a little email marketing, or I send out a newsletter, but I want to do better, I want to refine my process. One big stumbling block that we often find is that our agency friends don't have an organized content and email marketing calendar. So if you want to engage in a 1 email per month straightforward email send, you need a team assigned, and they need to have due dates, both for strategic planning and accountability. Otherwise, everybody's going to get busy and nothing's going to get done. So for example, you may have an email drafted on Tuesday and approved by an agency principal by Friday, and that email send goes out the following Tuesday, and the first reports are pulled that Friday, and producers are supposed to follow up on them through the course of the 3rd week, something along those lines. As you add complexity and layers to your email marketing initiative, your calendar will get much busier and require more people. If you have a weekly blog, maybe you need a blog posted every Monday and a newsletter made on the 4th Friday and sent out on the 5th Tuesday, and people editing, monitoring, making adjustments along the way. If you integrate social media, there's another layer and another column and another team on your calendar. We actually have calendars like this for ourselves and all of our clients, some of which are very basic and include 1 blog a month. Some include 8 blogs a month. Some include 1 email send per month. Some include 8 or even 12 email sends per month, of course, to divergent lists. So leverage a calendar and make sure that it helps you lay out the plan, delegate your tasks, and hold people accountable so they don't slow down your marketing machine. So speaking of a marketing machine, the next area that we want to talk about is marketing automation, or more of a true email drip marketing program. What we're talking about here is a series of automated email sends that leverage dynamic content, so differentiated content that goes out based on some type of if-then analysis. So a really simple example, you're targeting me and Alan as your prospects. Alan and I both receive email A. Alan clicks on the first link in email A, so in a short period of time he gets email B. I don't do anything, so over a longer period of time I get email C. Alan clicks on the link in email B also, so he gets email D. I still don't do anything, so eventually I get email E, and then maybe you write me off as a prospect and send me back to your suspect pool, and your producer follows up on Alan with a call. Overly simple example to show how based on the actions we take, the content we receive is different. So it gives your campaign a multi-dimensional approach to nurture prospects along through the sales funnel and create opportunities. A great way to approach your sales funnel with email marketing is to leverage email sends like in option 1 to your suspects at the top of the sales funnel, then leverage marketing automation here in option 3 to bring people down from the center to the bottom of your sales funnel, where they're coming out as in-profile opportunities that your producers are following up on and ready to talk to. It's a longer-term approach. If you have a series of emails like this, it's not simple, send it Tuesday and call the click-throughs on Friday. It may be a series of 6, 8, 12, or even 24 emails that go out anywhere from 3, 5, 7, 10, or 14 days apart, depending on the actions that people take and the type of content they're receiving. I'll show you an example of a marketing automation workflow. It has a main trunk and a series of branches, just so that you can get the idea of what can be accomplished in a drip campaign. I remind you, these are always evolving and adding complexity as people come out of one end as a positive outcome, or drop out the bottom at the other end as a negative outcome, meaning they took the action you wanted or didn't. But in this case, our audience, that's the blue square at the far left, that's the list, receives an email. After a certain period of time, we check to see who opened that email. All the people that opened it, we check to see if they clicked. If they clicked, did they click on the first link? And if so, in this case, they move up to that green list at the top. That's a positive outcome. That's what we wanted them to do. Maybe that was fill out a form, schedule an appointment, something along those lines. If they clicked on a second link, but not the first link, we take a different action. We send them a different email. And that may happen after 3 days, after 5 days, after 7 days, depends on a number of factors. If they open that, then we check to see if they clicked. If they did, that's a positive outcome. If not, they go into a different pool. Meanwhile, going all the way back to that first email, if the people didn't open it, some people didn't open it, they ignored it completely, then we send them a different email with a different type of content or a different style. Maybe the first was text-based and about topic A, and the second is a video and about topic B. We check to see if they opened it. If they did, they receive another email, a different email. We check to see if they opened that. If so, we check to see if they clicked. If they did, that's a positive outcome. If they didn't, that's a negative outcome. If they didn't open that email, then we take one final swing, a third try, after some period of time, maybe 14 days later, even 30 days later, and in this case, it happens to be a split test. 50% of the group gets one email, 50% gets another, to try to determine if there's any way that these in-profile prospects that at one time showed some interest would re-engage with us. So, and this is, I'd say, a simple or basic workflow. Complexity can be added in dramatic layers as you expand the content and the dimensions and the outcomes. The idea being to nurture different groups of people along your sales funnel to get them to a positive outcome by engaging with you, filling out a form, scheduling an appointment, calling you, whatever the case may be. So Alan, anything you'd like to add about marketing automation before we move on?
There are a number of names for this, conditional CTAs, which are call to actions, dynamic content generation, marketing automation programs, marketing automation platforms. The key with this is for an agency to do this, they really need to have an e-marketer on staff or somebody who's tech savvy and proficient with it. It takes quite a bit of time and skill to set up this workflow compared to doing the basic email marketing that we showed you before. So we often tell clients, essentially crawl, walk, run. So start small, get your list, get the basic email components going, and then as time moves on, you can consider something more sophisticated like dynamic content generation for your email marketing.
That's a great segue to determining what's best for your agency. We promised we'd show you some options and then explain to you the criteria that we use to determine what's the best fit for your agency. And the first step, really a three-step process that we work through, are what are the tools, time, and talent that you have access to. What tools do you have in place? An email marketing platform or Salesforce automation system or nothing? How much time do your people have? Do you have somebody that can execute and or learn and then execute these tasks? And do you have the skill sets on staff? You may have some of those. You may have none of those. Luckily, you can outsource any or all of those things, the time, the tools, or the talent. That would be predicated upon budget. So somebody with limited skills, limited budget, probably would stick to a simpler solution. Somebody with more skill sets on staff, more budget, could choose from any of these solutions. Which solution would depend on your target market? Who are you going after? Is it a universe that can be reached with a simple drip campaign where you're sharing some content every few weeks and calling those click-throughs, or is it somebody that requires a more sophisticated approach? If you picture the owner of a 5-person machine shop versus the CFO of a 1,000-person employee benefits group, they're different personality types. They probably respond to different media. You need to reach out to them in different and appropriate ways. Next, analyze what are your goals and objectives. Is it simply we want to write more new business, or is it also to retain? Is it to grow a certain business segment? Is it to do all of the above? Based on your goals, based on your target market, and what tools, time, talent, and or budget you have available, you can choose the appropriate email marketing option for you, or talk to somebody like us who can guide you down the right path. And I want to remind you that time is of the essence. If you're not doing this, you're being left behind. If you are doing this and want to do it better, glad you've started, but make sure that you improve. And if you're already doing this perfectly, you probably didn't sign up for today's webinar because you're already so busy following up on all the new business opportunities that are coming out of the bottom of the sales funnel for you. So with that, today's web seminar is now ending. We'd like to offer anyone who's attended a complimentary email marketing and lead gen review. Anybody who's attended today is our gift to you. We'll schedule a 15-minute web meeting with you where we talk about what tools, time, and talent you have available, what your target markets are, what your goals and objectives are, and help guide you down the path of what email marketing solutions would be the best fit for you. Or if you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email. My contact information is on the screen. You can also visit our website at StartUpSelling.com. We thank you all for attending, and we hope you have a great day.